The election's less than 5 months away, and the media thinks the most important question about the last election is this.
As a journalist, as an American, what do you think is the most important question that needs to be answered from both candidates?
Who won the last election?
Yeah.
Very simple.
Yeah, and
who won the last election? Let's discuss and debate.
And we'll see. I mean, look, it's been asked by Donald Trump. He refuses to answer it correctly, but we'll see what he does when he's given that opportunity.
In front of 140 million people. You know, it's a little different on a stage like that.
Stephanopoulos thinks November 5th is a referendum on January 6th. Also, Rachel Maddow thinks Trump's going to put her in an internment camp. She's saying this: I'm worried about the country broadly if we put someone in power who is openly avowing that he plans to build camps to hold millions of people. For that matter, what convinces you that these massive camps he's planning are only for migrants? So yes, I'm worried about me, but only as much as I'm worried about all of us. Don't flatter yourself, Rach. If anyone's going to a camp, it's Acosta. Maddow only works Mondays. It's not like anybody'd miss her. No one's sending anybody to camps, you silly goose, except for our sons and daughters so we can get some peace and quiet this summer. This preemptive strike against the next Trump presidency is nothing compared to the preemptive strike against the Supreme Court, which has been relentless and vicious, including everything from triggering armed psychos to hunt down justices to Flaggate. Recusal from the Trump cases is the goal. Secondarily, to delegitimize the court so the Trump opinions are discredited. The latest dirty trick? A liberal activist went undercover and secretly recorded Justice Alito and his wife during a private event. She pretended to be a conservative and tried baiting the justice into saying something scandalous. Watch.
Like, people in this country who believe in God have got to keep fighting for that, to return our country to a place of godliness.
Oh, I agree with you. I agree with you.
I support your ruling on dogs. I support, I am very pro-life, but, I don't know how we bridge that gap. How do we get people...
I wish I knew. I wish I knew. I don't know. It's not... I don't think it's something we can do.
But the court can't do anything to...
I mean, we have a very defined role.
Yeah.
We need to do what we're supposed to do.
Nothing controversial here about Alito's answer. He doesn't think we're going to be able to change pro-choice people's mind, and he thinks we should have more religion in the country. So what? But the media seized on it as disqualifying.
We know Alito is essentially a Fox host on the court.
New developments about Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito's compromised ethics and open support and comfort with extreme far-right causes.
Former presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy joins me now. I didn't think they'd have this kind of dirty trick in their bag, but they're going undercover now. What do you think's next, Vivek?
Well, look, the reality is this radical left will stop at nothing to implement their agenda, Jesse. They will go through the law system, they will go through prosecutorial systems, they will go through the financial system, and they will go through administrative agencies. But the reality is the American people are seeing through the farce that they have put up. And you fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Most people in this country now understand that. The media's histrionics are becoming even more extreme because they realize the people aren't falling for it. But that's actually going to backfire, I believe, heading into November.
Yeah, and I'm fine with undercover journalistic tactics. That's been bread and butter for decades, but it's not like a big expose if he likes God and doesn't think he can change the minds of pro-choice Americans. And earlier, I want to get your take on this because we had some breaking news earlier, Vivek. Hunter Biden found guilty of 3 gun felonies this morning in Delaware and could be facing up to 2 years, possibly more, in prison if Judge Norica sentenced him that way. What do you think this is going to do to the Biden campaign?
Well, look, I think there's a couple of things going on here, Jesse. I actually think this particular trial and conviction is a bit of a farce. It's a bit of a feigned retreat. Note the timing. It came right after the Trump trial and the Trump verdict. The purpose of this is in the public eye to actually legitimize the Trump conviction. It's also designed to deflect attention away from what they should actually be going after the Biden family for, which is selling off our foreign policy to make their family rich in places like Ukraine, where Hunter Biden has absolutely no business serving on the board of Burisma, a state-affiliated energy company, which happens to be the same country that we're now sending $200 billion of American taxpayer money to. So that's what this is about, is it's a bit of a deflection, all against the backdrop that these are federal charges when his father is the sitting president of the United States who can absolutely pardon those actual convictions. So we should not fall for that trick, and I think that's what this is really about.
Yep, timing is everything in politics and in life. Vivek, thank you so much. Have a great night.
You too.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.